In this video, we're going to talk about the karma carnage that we're actually seeing play out in our world at the moment and how that's affecting us and how we can navigate through it. What does it all mean? What's happening? Is it something we need to fear? Is the world coming to the end? Or is it just shifting? Let's unpack it. Hi and welcome to Outlaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Karma Carnage. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, and everybody welcome in. So, Karma Carnage, and it was interesting. I was sat over the weekend and that kind of phrase came in and I was like, okay, Spirit, what are you meaning by this? The Karma Carnage. Now, as old, karma has been used in the paraphrase, you get your karma. And karma's not about that. Karma's lessons as far as I'm concerned. And we do have karma and we have dharma. And karma is usually those hard lessons that come to us. It give us a kick up the arse because we have not been the best version of ourselves. And that may be because we didn't know any better at the time. And it's that cause and effect. And it's understanding that. And it doesn't come round to punish us. It comes back round as that wheel turns to teach us so that we can be introspective and hopefully grow from that if we're actually tune ourselves in, if we actually take the responsibility to do that. And dharma is that karma when we have done something good. So it's just the cycles as far as I'm concerned. But we are seeing a lot of carnage out in the world at the moment. One, because of natural disasters, and that's a lot of... There's a lot of spiritual dynamics going on to that. There's a lot of celestial stuff going on with that. There is a lot of prophecy within that coming into being. I'm not going to go into that in this video because there are people that can explain it so much more profoundly than I can, and much more eloquently than I can. And there's lots and lots of videos. If you're interested in that, there are massive resources on YouTube. Just use your discernment. Let me just say that, because it's all perspectives. When you're sat here listening to me, I'm sharing my perspective. And it's important that each and every one of us, when we are listening to videos, when we are learning about new things, that we actually use our discernment and feel into our bodies. Does this resonate? Does it feel true for me? It's not about following people or following what so-and-so said. Blah, 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 blah. No, it's about you sitting back and go, oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, actually that resonates with me. I'll dig into that a little bit more because there's something in there for me. This is why we make these videos. This is why we share our experiences, our perceptions of what's going on, and the perceptions of our own understanding from what we're gaining, what we're being told by our spiritual teams. This is why it's so important to stay in your own lane and understand yourself deeply. And if you don't feel that you understand yourself sufficiently, then do the work, do the digging into yourself to do that. Use what modalities work and resonate with you. And know that they will change. Thank you, Spirit. Know that they will change, because they will. You will start to unlock, and we always say in coaching, the peeling off of the layers of the onion. And within spirituality, that is exactly the same. Within digging into ourselves, becoming our soul sovereign selves, it's about peeling off the layers of those onions. And it's very interesting because it very often coincides with with past life experiences as well. It's almost like we kind of tap in when we get drawn to a new modality. Like for me, I'll use a personal example, is when shamanism first came onto my spectrum, there was so much going on within me because, you know, I'm white European. And what did I have to do with shamanism? At the time, I had no understanding of the whole Celtic shamanism connection, blah, 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 blah. But it was a modality where I was able, when I started exploring that journey, when I started tuning into that particular aspect of my soul knowing because of past life experience and who I had been in a past life, was I able to understand myself better? Was I able to integrate that part of me? Was I able to take ownership without fear of prejudice? This is why it's important to stay in your own lane and follow the nudges that you're given. And I always say about the rule of 3. So if something comes onto my spectrum 3 times, then I will explore it. It is about taking off those layers. And in doing so, when you reconnect with those aspects of your soul self, what you're effectively doing is you're also calling them back into yourself, rather than them being over on that timeline and that on that timeline and that on that timeline. When you allow yourself to explore all these beautiful aspects of yourself and start to integrate them, you start to bring all of those timelines into unison. That's what helps you get onto your North Node. Because every lifetime that you have experienced, all the lessons of that lifetime adds to the wholeness of who you're becoming and what you came here to do this lifetime. And this is why there is so much karmic carnage out there, because this is not just one battle between light and dark, that duality. And when I say battle, there are to be no winners. Let's get that straight. This is not about dominating. What? Okay, I don't know if you heard that. Nice. This is not about dominating. I love how that was nature coming in. That was a real confirmation there. This is not about dominating. This is about balance. It's about creating balance between the lightness and dark, the feminine and the masculine within us and on the planet, within the cosmos. It's massive, and it's not going to happen overnight, but we are seeing this shift, and obviously there is a lot coming to the surface, which we actually said, you know, last year was an 8-year as above, so below. So what had been existing in the ethereal realms has planted itself, had been visible, is visible on this physical realm now, and it's playing itself out. What happens above, so below. So those battles that had been continuing up on the spiritual realms that some of us were privy to, others have absolutely no idea that it's going on, are now visible or palatable within the physical realm. That's where the karmic carnage is coming from. People are being faced, because we're that 9-year, with that completion year. This is the time of clean up, clear up. And so it's about cleaning up, clearing up our lives making a choice. Are we going to do the work so that we can learn who we are as soul beings, or are we going to stay in a 3D matrix? That's what we're seeing play out in the world at the moment. It's not about punishment. It's about lessons. It's about understanding. Where are you at the moment? And we've got, if you've watched my video of Tuesday, the 8-8 portal, you will know that there is a portal that there are energies that we can step into, and then we can start creating. But we can't create if we're still in that space and place of lack mentality, whereby we step on others in survival. That's what's going on. It's not that there's good and bad. It's about where you're at. What are your beliefs? Where are your frequencies? When we put it down to energy, when we put it to frequency, when you actually go and learn and understand the omega scale of frequencies and emotions, and then you supersede it. I love it at the moment because I'm using it in other projects with something completely different, but it's transferable. So I use the very basic Maslow scale of hierarchy, but then if you supersede it, if it was almost like a transferable, a transparent, not transferable, transparent copy, you've got the two triangles, you've got the as above, so below, and you supersede it, and you put it over, you've got transparent copies, and you can actually see why we have been in such turmoil for generation after generation after generation after generation, because we have been kept just above, for most people, that survival mode, but we dip straight back into it when something happens. The tools, the emotional tools, the emotional intelligence, and I don't like to say that because that makes people, I think we could find a better word for it, but I haven't found it yet. But that deeper understanding of what's going on a resonance level within ourselves, within our psyche, is immensely important to understand what's going on in the exterior of ourselves, what's playing out. It's that battle. It's that battle of survival. The more denser energies have not realized that we are not wanting to eradicate them, but we are not any longer willing to allow them to have dominance. We're striving for balance. That's what we should all be striving. And there is a risk. And this is something I have said many, many times before, and I will continue to say it because we all constantly, self included, need reminding on this. It's not about light having dominance, the feminine having dominance. It's about bringing balance, addressing the imbalance. And so it is tenuous steps that we need to be taking to ensure that we just don't go doo-doop and start the cycle again. That's why healing, that's why deep understanding of ourselves, that's why walking our North Node and owning our soul sovereignty is so important, so that we can create balance, not dominancy. If you've liked the video, hit that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, then hit that subscribe and the notification bell so that you're notified when new videos come up. Until then, beautiful souls, take care. Bye-bye.